What about you? Order your KDF shower filter normally $49 for our special price of only $39.99 with free shipping. Call the Berkey Guy and order now by calling 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or simply click on the banner at gcnlive.com to order online now.
A day unlike any other in the long course of American history, a terrorist act of war against this country.
The enemy struck America on September 11th. But who is the enemy?
Bin Laden. This is his M.O.
We have to look to the Middle East. We have to look to Osama bin Laden.
Fabled Enemies is the first 9/11 film to take a close look at the terrorist ties to intelligence networks inside the United States.
Some U.S. investigators believe that there are Israelis again very much engaged in spying in and on the U.S.
I'm aware that some Israeli citizens have been detained.
Bin Laden's connections to the CIA, the hijackers' ties to the FBI, the Saudi Arabian connection, the Israeli intelligence network, warnings and war games, the shadow government, and much, much more. Fabled Enemies. Get the DVD at Infowars.com or see it in super high quality, along with hundreds of other titles at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists.
Hi, this is Steve Shank. eFoods does it again. The 3-Day Responder provides one adult with 3 days worth of healthy, delicious, easy fix food. The price of the 3-Day Responder is almost ridiculous at $21.95 for actually 12 meals plus snacks. When you taste the food in the 3-Day Responder, you'll understand why families trust eFoods Direct to provide healthy, delicious food for every need. Whether you're hunting, playing, or responding to an emergency, the food in the 3-Day Responder is easy to fix and ready to go. Food is an everyday need. The 3-Day Responder is for the time when food should be the last thing you have to worry about. The 3-Day Responder, $21.95. Sometimes the best things do come in the smallest packages. Call 800-409-5633. On the web, efoodsdirect.com. That's 800-409-5633. On the web, efoodsdirect.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
I want to say this to Dan, who called about his son being a police officer and being a patriot. I am not perfect. In fact, I'm far from it. And I have said many times on air, and I've apologized for the fact that I've actually helped the New World Order inadvertently. Because the police are in a gang mentality. It's an us against them. You know, everybody's out to get them. All they can trust is fellow cops. That's what they're taught. And so when I come out and yell and scream and hyperventilate at the police, that actually helps them get into more of a paranoid mode, more into going along with tyranny. But at the same time, police are doing unconstitutional things all over the nation. They are basically under a federal directive. Their FEMA camps are being built. The police more and more do act like thugs. I mean, you know, I've been all over the country and asked a cop for directions. In Galveston, Texas, and New York City, they're like, do I look like a phone book to you? Like, hi, officer. Hey, do you know where this is? Do I look like a phone book to you? I've talked to a lot of Austin cops who visited New York, and they'll, hey, officer, where's this? Hey, what's your problem here? Get out of here. I talked to the Austin police chief out there. That happened to him in New York a few months ago, he said. So how do you like being treated like that? But it's more than that. I've had police in Austin, New York, other places walk up and say, turn your cameras off on the street corner. You're not allowed to be out here interviewing people. I go, but I have a First Amendment. Hey, you want me to arrest you right now, Mr. Smart Pants? And you got to go, okay, but I'm going to sue you for this. Please don't violate the Bill of Rights and Constitution. Treat me like a human. They'll start screaming some more. Then they'll get ready to arrest you, and then the supervisor comes over and doesn't want trouble and says, let him go. Now, I know they're training the police to dislike the public. I know they're training the police to feed on the public. And I know that every major jurisdiction we look at frames people all day long. I know the majority of narcotics officers are really drug dealers and plant drugs on people, and that's on record. I know the CIA ships in heroin and cocaine. I know the war on drugs is a fraud. I know all over Texas the police steal everything you got. It's normally smaller jurisdictions where total corruption takes over. The bigger ones just carry out the overall tyranny, but they know to keep the low-level crime down by their officers. Now, are all officers involved in this? No. I mean, I remember when I was in high school and college, I was big into working out. Worked out 2 hours a day. Wish I had the time today, nowadays. And I worked out at gyms, and it was always cops who were in there, and, they'd give me spots. And, I remember being like 18 years old and going, hey, we're going to get something to eat, and going to a restaurant and eating something with cops, military people, because I look like that type of person. And I know they're just regular people. But the point is, they have been incrementally trained to urinate all over the Bill of Rights and Constitution, and I'm not putting up with it. You think the founding fathers hated all the redcoats? A lot of them had been redcoats, been in the British military, most of them. Yeah, including George Washington. They were tired of it. Look. I've been there and watched the APD grab a baby out of somebody's arms with no due process for no reason because it was a poor family and they knew they could steal it with a CPS and get $400,000 for it on the market. I've seen Judge Gene Miro with the family courts threaten parents to sign their kids over to the government for being late to class 3 times when it's not even a violation of state law, the truancy law they're claiming. I have seen it. I've gone out in my car after watching them steal babies and broke down and cried like a baby. It's torn my intestines out. I'm sick of injustice and I'm sick of the bull. And so overall, I'm tired of the TV ads worshiping the police and the military. That's not to worship the police and the military. It's to worship the government and to sell PR because they know the public's getting sick of it. Police were, in most areas of this society, revered and appreciated. And you know why? 50, 100 years ago? Because they had to go after people when somebody stole somebody's goods. They had to go up against real criminals. They had to be in shootouts and hideouts. They had to go after bank robbers. And cops were into being macho and tough. There was still always corruption because you're going to have criminals trying to buy off the police. But by and large, that's why people didn't buy cops slices of apple pie and run out and give them coffee in their cars 50, 60 years ago because they were scared of them. They liked them. They knew them. They were on their local beat. And they were watching the neighborhood. And you could go out of town and know that Bob was going to be walking around with his partner and he knew the community. That we don't have that now. They don't want the police to know us. They don't want the police to be our friends. And I'm tired of it. Look, I'm going to explain something to the police and the military. I don't have time to kiss your butts. I don't have time to sit here and play games. They're going to steal all your pension funds. If you don't care about us, care about yourselves. They don't tell you not to drink fluoride water. They don't tell you not to drink aspartame Cokes. They don't tell you how dangerous things are for you and your family. I do. I am your friend. I want you to do well in life. I don't want you to get shot out there on the streets. But I've seen cops time after time all over the country raid people and say they had an arsenal of guns. Some old man steal their guns. I've seen too much crime from you. I know statistically that you're doing a lot of bad. There was a time in this nation where per capita, we had a lot less police per population. But when a car got stolen or when somebody got raped, the police went absolutely crazy like a bunch of bloodhounds on a scent. Now they don't do that. They do if a cop gets killed. Over 90% of the time when a cop gets killed, they find the perpetrator. Did you know only 10 or 11, depending on the year, % of murders go solved if it's a civilian? Why are you using military terminology? You don't know why. You need to find out. Police. Why is the mayor calling people in Austin civilians? I'm not going to call him a jackass. I guess I just did. He knows what he's doing. The cities are nothing but systems to scoop up all the tax money and send it offshore through the comprehensive financial reports. The government's much more corrupt than you know. You work for it. So we praise the police like Officer Jack McClam, and let's get Officer Jack McClam back on. Write a note, please. And I want to get Sheriff Richard Mack on. It's been years since I had him on. He didn't like how the feds were pulling people over for having handguns, doctors and lawyers, people no criminal records, and taking them to jail in his county. So he sued them, went to the Supreme Court, and won a Second Amendment case on the 10th Amendment. The feds don't have any jurisdiction in the states. The states are supposed to have any gun laws if they're going to have them. The only gun law this country ever had was you got to have them openly. See, that's the legal trick. They say, well, to have them concealed, you got to get a permit. because that's against the law under the Constitution. You have arms openly. Why do you shake hands with somebody? That's the old ancient medieval thing of, hey, let's shake hands. I don't have an arm. I'm meeting you on the highway. I'm going to shake hands with you. I'm not about here off the coach road to pull out a dagger and stab you in the stomach or pull out a musket and shoot you. You know, I see these national polls where 90+% of police say they're pro-Second Amendment. Well, where are you? I see you carrying out unconstitutional actions. Look, foreign banks have seized the United States. I keep repeating that. We're in receivership, and if we can just wake up to that and get past the puppet Obama and the puppet Bush and all this window dressing and really get down to brass tacks, we can turn this around. If not, we don't have any future. Look, I'm right about all this stuff. We've proven we're right. I try to be friendly towards the police. I try to have Arte Saveda in here.